So people that are unfamiliar with Bucks County might be surprised to know that Bucks County has had for, I would say, the past 20 years, maybe a little more than 20 years, an extensive homeless problem. In reality, as somebody that worked in mental health, particularly with people with addictions and people that were homeless, I think the problem is actually what's going on is these recovery houses are bringing people in from outside the area, taking their money and kicking them out, taking somebody else in, taking their money, kicking them out. Then when these people have nowhere to go, you have a homeless crisis. Okay, that's kind of what happened. But nobody's going to crack down on the recovery houses, and even if you did, you have to do something with the homeless people that are already here. So, Commissioner Marseglia states that the problem with homelessness is mostly a result of natural disasters, this is from 2022, and a need for affordable housing. Okay, Bucks County's number of homeless community. You can read this on your own, it will be linked in the description. One of the other problems with the situation in Bucks County is that the way that the county deals with the homeless crisis is by breaking up the homeless camps where these people live. Now, the problem with that is we don't have the shelter space for these people, and we don't have affordable housing, as noted before, and even if we did have affordable housing, people need jobs to afford affordable housing, okay? It's not very easy to get a job when you're homeless. I encourage people, read this article, Before the Shelter, Family Service Staff Shares Sobering Reality of a Homeless Camp in Bucks County. This again is in March 9th, 2022, last year. So this is in 2023, just last month. County clears another homeless camp from the woods. The problem is if these people have nowhere to live, they have to go somewhere, and this wasn't kept a secret. So this is an issue, you know. Now this is what's funny. These are free meals, and I strongly encourage people that live in Bucks County, please check this out if you need a meal. They are free as far as I know. These did not exist when I was homeless. When I was homeless, you were homeless. But Advocates for the Homeless and the Reach Out Foundation under Kathy Sharp made this a reality. Now what's funny is Bucks County swooped in, took over Advocates for the Homeless, created the homeless hotline and all this crap, and tries to steal credit for what the churches are doing on their own and two nonprofits did. Okay, that's what's humorous. They try to absorb the nonprofits, and they do. They do. Most nonprofits in this county have been absorbed into the county. They have county plants in them, if you know what I mean. Now, I've gone through, so affordable housing is the cause of this, according to Diane Marseglia, that and natural disasters. However, there's no shame in celebrating the groundbreaking. They bought an abandoned home and converted it to an African American museum. That could have very easily been transformed into a multi-family shelter, a women's shelter, a sober house run by the county, something of that nature. Okay, it could have very easily been transformed into something other than an African American museum, which, regardless of your stance on African American history, what have you, the facts are the facts. The homelessness is a problem in the state, really, but in the county. Not African American history. That's what we have Black History Month for. Every school in Pennsylvania teaches about Black history. Why do we need an African American history museum when we have a homeless crisis? So I've gone over again and again and again about the horrible, horrible state of mental health in Bucks County. Now what's funny is they're not citing the worsening mental health of teenagers in Bucks County based on the lack of adequate mental health services. No, they shift blame. Unfortunately, the Philadelphia Inquirer wanted me to subscribe. What I was pointing out, and you can find it on your own, it's linked in the description, the commissioners of Bucks County shift blame onto social media for the worsening state of mental health in this area, okay? It's not social media's fault that children and adolescents and young adults and adults can't get adequate mental health care. That's the county's fault. That's the county's fault for partnering with organizations like Lenape Valley, Pendel Mental Health, and other such organizations that provide subpar services. Okay? It's obvious. So this is Diane Marseglia. She's the vice chair of the board. She was first elected in November 2007, began her fourth term on the Board of Commissioners in 2020. Okay, advocacy and service with a reputation and demanding responsibility, or demanding responsible government spending commissioner. Responsible Government Spending Commissioner Marseglia has advocated for greater transparency and ethics. Commissioner Marseglia accepts the responsibility for researching and vetting all county actions, including opening a Black History Museum on the site of an abandoned home by refurbishing the abandoned home while homelessness is a major crisis. She championed programs including Code Blue, specialty courts, and crisis intervention training. Now, I know for a fact that most of that was not done at all by the county, but was done by not-for-profits in the beginning. Different churches and different non-profits, like the Reach Out Foundation. She promoted dredging the Delaware. Now, I actually agree with that. I can't be against that. That's a good idea. Improved response to mental health and substance abuse issues in prison. The response to mental health and substance abuse in prison is not the problem. The problem is the response to the the growing number of homeless and the staggering lack of mental health services for people when they get out of prison. She improved response to mental, led the county in developing a response to feral cats, helped to create a suicide prevention task force. Yeah, I've already talked about Lenape Valley and that sort of thing. So as you see, this goes back to 2018, 2022, 2023. They bust up the homeless camps, okay? So the problem is, this is not helping things. Now, of course, they could open, they can buy a foreclosed home. I don't know how much it was on the home that they opened that African American History Museum in. But here are, and this is the thing, this is Bucks County. Okay, this is Bucks County itself. But the thing is, this is a statewide problem, and I'm going to look over land, vacant land, and foreclosed homes and things of that nature, which could easily be purchased by the county or the state and transformed into multi-family low-income housing. Here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Okay. 5-bedroom, okay, see? These are all in the Bucks County area. All available. And I'm sure there's ways to petition the federal government for ways to utilize government money to help in that respect. Now, I'm not a county commissioner, but I'm sure that could be figured out if I were. As you can see, $101,850 for this house here in that's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But my point is, these houses are relatively local. They could be purchased by the state or the county government and transformed into multifamily, lower-income housing dwellings, or some form of shelter, so that we have enough shelter space to do with the people when you break up the homeless camps. Hotels for sale in Bucks County. Now, this is in New Hope, Pennsylvania, so this is a not in my backyard thing. New Hope, Pennsylvania is the homosexual, very wealthy epicenter of a lot of haughty-taughty stuff, so they're going to say not in my backyard. But the thing is, there are, again in New Hope, these are hotels for sale. Another hotel for sale in Quakertown. You can see that that's a very nice shape to that hotel. Could be very easily. The Sheraton is for sale. Okay. These are all buildings in Bucks County which could be purchased by the county or the state to help deal with the homeless crisis. But instead they just bust up the homeless camps and open up African American history museums. So these are abandoned and overgrown areas in Pennsylvania. As I said, this is not just a county issue, this is a state issue. So 16 strange abandoned places in Pennsylvania, from theme parks to trolley graveyards. Okay, Hall Mansion. Concrete City. We have a lot of abandoned mining towns in this area. Okay. This is a abandoned theme park. Lake Ariel Park. Nature has swallowed it up. Croups Glen. Island Park. Frickslocks Village, Penhurst State School and Hospital. Now that's been purchased by an entrepreneur last I checked. But that would have been ideal. The state could have purchased Penhurst Hospital, refurbished it, and that would have been fine to deal with the homeless crisis. A good portion of it anyway. Abandoned turnpike tunnels of western Pennsylvania. Summerfield, Harrisburg State Hospital. These things, these could easily be purchased and refurbished or knocked down and the land used to build something to help house the homeless that are crowding the area and the whole state at this point. Scranton Lace Factory, Peter and Paul Church. Laramie School. This is a 12-room Gothic structure built in 1896 at the corner of Laramie Avenue, blah, 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 historic Pittsburgh. Carey Furnaces. Bethlehem Steel Plant. You see, there's a lot of uninhabited land in Pennsylvania that could be made habitable if the right care was taken to make it so. Okay, so this is ghost towns in Pennsylvania. Thanks to the long industrial history of Pennsylvania, the state is filled with communities that have come and gone throughout the years. While many of these ghost towns in Pennsylvania still exist in the woods and along the roadways of the state, while there are plenty of abandoned places in PA, these ghost towns take it to another level with many interesting spots to explore. Here are a few of this person's favorites. Centralia, obviously nobody can live in Centralia because it's on fire underneath. Pit Hole, Pennsylvania. The community of Pit Hole